85 feet below a lake in Turkey, stone walls were found where no civilization was ever supposed to exist. If geology is correct, these ruins should not be there at all. That single contradiction between what the land says and what the stones show sits at the center of one of the most unresolved archaeological questions of our time. The site lies beneath Lake Van, one of the most unusual lakes on Earth. Lake Van is vast, plunging more than 1,500 feet in places, and it is the largest soda lake in the world, meaning its waters are highly alkaline. Today, the lake has no outlet. Rivers flow into it from multiple directions, but nothing flows out. This makes Lake Van a closed basin, and over long spans of time, closed basins behave very differently from ordinary lakes. Geological evidence shows that this was not always the case. In deep prehistory, Lake Van drained through a major outlet known as the Murat River, which exited the lake from its southwestern edge. This river stabilized the lake's water level for thousands of years. Shorelines remained predictable, and any people living or building along the lake would have seen no reason to expect dramatic flooding. At that time, the lake behaved like a normal system with a natural release. That stability ended because of a volcanic catastrophe. Near the southwestern shore of Lake Van stands Mount Nemrut, home to one of the largest volcanic calderas on the planet. Nemrut is not obscure or poorly studied. It has been examined extensively since the 19th century, and its eruptive history is well established through sediment layers, ash deposits, and stratigraphic analysis. The most significant eruption occurred during the climatic turmoil surrounding the Younger Dryas, roughly between 14,500 and 11,500 years ago. During that eruption, volcanic material blocked the Murat River completely. Once the outlet was sealed, Lake Van became a closed basin. Water continued to flow into the lake from surrounding rivers, but with nowhere to drain, the lake level began to rise slowly over long periods of time. Former shorelines were gradually submerged. Anything built along those ancient shores was eventually swallowed by the expanding lake. This context is essential to understanding the underwater ruins. The stone structures documented beneath Lake Van sit at roughly 85 feet below the modern waterline. No civilization constructs monumental stone architecture underwater. For these structures to exist at that depth today, the lake level at the time of construction must have been significantly lower, likely more than 100 feet lower than it is now. If the outlet was blocked during the Younger Dryas, then these structures must predate that event. That places their construction before 12,000 years ago, regardless of who built them. What is confirmed is that submerged stone structures exist at this depth. What is claimed is that they form a large, possibly temple-like complex extending across a wide area of the lake bed. What remains to be tested is their precise age and cultural origin. This line of reasoning does not depend on myth or symbolism. It follows basic hydrology. Block a lake's outlet, water levels rise, shorelines disappear, structures built on those shorelines go underwater. The ruins were first encountered in the late 1990s by Turkish diver and underwater filmmaker Tahsin Ceylan while he was conducting biological research on Lake Van's unique ecosystem. His work had nothing to do with archaeology. During routine dives, he encountered massive stone walls arranged in patterns that appeared clearly artificial. He documented what he saw on video, but the discovery did not receive sustained archaeological attention. When experts later reviewed the limited footage and photographs, uncertainty followed. Some suggested the ruins might belong to the Eurasian civilization, which flourished in the region around 2,800 years ago. Others proposed medieval origins. Some questioned whether the formations were human-made at all. The depth, scale, and architectural style did not fit comfortably into any known category, and the site was largely sidelined rather than systematically investigated. Interest has returned because of the masonry itself. The blocks appear to be basalt, a volcanic rock far harder than limestone. Basalt is extremely difficult to shape, especially with simple metal tools. Yet the visible stonework shows straight courses, smoothed faces, and tight-fitting joints. In areas where earthquakes have displaced stones, the original precision of the fit becomes visible. If these are constructed walls, then consistent block dimensions, deliberate angles, and tool marks should be present. These are features that can be tested directly through careful documentation. Skeptics raise important and reasonable objections. Could these be later structures that slid underwater due to seismic activity? Could they be natural basalt formations misidentified as walls? Could the outlet blocking event be misdated or unrelated to the lake's rise? These objections do not weaken the investigation. They define what must be tested next. High-resolution photogrammetry, sonar mapping of the lakebed, geological sampling around the structures, and sediment analysis can help distinguish intentional construction from coincidence. Beyond geology and architecture, This region draws attention for another reason. Eastern Anatolia sits at the center of the oldest flood traditions known to humanity. At the Penn Museum, excavation records document the rediscovery of Shuruppak, a city once considered mythical. Beneath layers of later civilizations, archaeologists uncovered a massive alluvial flood deposit nearly 4 feet thick, separating an earlier occupation layer from what came after it. These flood narratives appear in the Epic of Gilgamesh, the Atrahasis epic, and the Eridu Genesis, preserved on cuneiform tablets thousands of years older than the Bible. They describe a catastrophic flood and a lone survivor journeying toward the region associated with Ararat in Anatolia. Myths are not proof, but they can preserve cultural memory. It is striking how consistently this same region appears in the earliest surviving accounts. An international research team is now preparing to document the Lake Van ruins in far greater detail. The team includes geologists, archaeologists, and volcanologists, including Robert Schoch, whose work on water erosion at the Sphinx forced a reassessment of Egypt's conventional chronology. Their aim is not to rewrite history prematurely, but to test whether the evidence supports an earlier chapter of human civilization. Stone itself cannot be dated directly, but environments can. Volcanic eruptions, sediment layers, erosion patterns, and long-term lake level changes all leave measurable signatures. If those signatures confirm that these structures once stood on dry land before the lake's outlet was blocked, then their antiquity becomes difficult to dismiss. Lake Van's 85-foot deep ruins do not prove Atlantis, and they do not rewrite history on their own. What they do is challenge a long-standing assumption that advanced planning, large-scale construction, and symbolic expression only emerged after the Ice Age. 3 questions now matter above all others. Are these structures unequivocally man-made? Did the lake level rise when the outlet was blocked, and when exactly did that happen? And do the sediments surrounding the ruins confirm they were once exposed land? Until those questions are answered, Lake Van remains one of the most intriguing, unresolved archaeological sites on Earth, resting silently beneath the water, waiting for history to catch up. If you want to support deeper research and found this journey as fascinating as we did, subscribe to Ancient Epochs for more.